So, hello and welcome back to another FIVA video analysis. My name is Paul Olele, and today we would be talking with Omolara Aribisala, if I pronounced that name correctly, of Pivo Africa. She's actually the head of Pivo Capital. The whole Pivo Africa franchise launched in September of 2021, and it provides financial services, credit payments, and expense payments to SME vendors with large manufacturing supply chains. Omolara, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
So, of course, you are the head of Pivo Capital, but can you sort of give us the background into how Pivo Africa itself came into conception and where you came in and what journey it's taken? Pretty much, I don't know if I worded that correctly, how the journey of Pivo started and where you came in at and where the company is at the moment.
Okay, so Pivo was actually co-founded by two friends, Nkiru and Ijoma. I think the idea really was, they looked around and they felt that SMEs were financially underrepresented in Nigeria. There's a lot of talk about how SMEs are the economic drivers of the economic drivers. They're the ones that will make a difference and make a change, create employment. But you find out a lot of SMEs, at least in Nigeria and Africa generally, can't really access the kind of financial services that is required to enable them to actually actualize this this so-called this dream. So one of the things that I think the founders of Pivo wanted to do was to actually create like a safe space to be able to provide the necessary financing without all the demands that a traditional bank would provide to them. And also one of the things that we recognized was that a lot of SMEs are not properly structured, especially when it comes to their finances. So one of the things that we're trying to do, we want to achieve also, apart from just providing them access to finance, is to help them to manage their expenses better, to be able to have an account that is able to show at a glance what their income, what their revenues are, what their payments look like, who their payments go to. So I think that's really what the founders of Pivo wanted to achieve by creating, by founding Pivo as with a niche focus for SMEs. Now you asked where I came in. I actually joined Pivo about 6 months ago, September 2021, and I really was to bring in more structure, I guess, to the lending business, to grow it from where it was. I think in the time that we had, in the time that we've started to now, I think we've been able to give out about $2 million in loans, and we're hoping to grow that exponentially this year and into the coming year.
So, how is Pivo, and I'm not sure maybe if this was answered in the initial question. How's it currently making the landscape easier for supply chain SMEs in access to the banking services and the finance? Yeah.
Okay, so I think primarily right now, one of the things that we're doing is basically just creating access to finance. You find out a lot of SMEs that operate in that ecosystem in Nigeria find it very difficult. So they have large orders, but they're not able to actually fulfill these orders because they have to use their capital. When they go to a traditional financial institution, one of the challenges is, oh, look, we want to finance you, but you need to give us collateral, which a lot of them don't have. Or because they don't have audited financial statements, they're not able to access, these loans. It's not really helped by the fact that some of the should I call them the contract employers, whose supply chains we are trying to provide service to, don't really want to get involved in how these SMEs get financed. So for a lot of them, they just have to rely on the capital that they're able to raise by themselves or maybe from friends. So one of the things that we do is basically, so we offer them no collateral loans. So right from the get-go, we let them know that we're not asking you to go and give us any, we know you don't have the assets to back this loans. We are looking at it primarily from the transaction and the cash flows. We're able to respond to them very quickly. So within 72 hours of making their request, funds are available to them. So they're able to actually execute larger contracts and therefore grow their business, grow their revenues. So I think that's how we've made it better.
And these access to funds, is there sort of like an application process that they have to go through, or is it just something that is made available once they visit the website with the application?
Well, yes, there is an application process, but it's actually spelled out on the website. So the website tells you, first of all, the kinds of products that you have. It lists out the eligibility requirements. So we want to give loans, but we want to give loans to registered business entities. So Lara cannot just walk in and say, I want a loan, have this contract. So you have to be registered. So the website actually spells out all of what those requirements are and what you need to access. So for instance, you want invoice discounting. So it tells you that, okay, you need to provide me a copy of the invoice, give me your bank statements. So once the account is opened and all of those documents are provided, then and once we confirm, because like I said, we don't offer collateral, we don't take collateral, but in order to protect ourselves, protect our investors, protect our capital, we actually do confirm that that transaction is genuine. We verify where the payment cash flows will come from. So once that is done and we are comfortable with that, then the loan is disbursed to the customer.
Okay, so let's talk about Pivo, the two Pivo products, which one you're the head of, Pivo Capital, and I believe there's another one called Pivo Business. The Pivo Business allows you, or allows people to access the bank freely across borders, or access money across borders, while Pivo Capital helps you to get capital for your business. So is there, can you like differentiate between the two, and probably maybe also define what product is suited or best suited for a specific business? If let's say I was a businessman, which one would you advise that I'd go for? Or is it just you could get both, or just one?
Okay, first of all, you can get both. The Pivo Business is like the entry point to accessing all other Pivo products. So the Pivo Business is basically just a digital wallet that allows you to receive inflows and it allows you to make payments. So it works exactly the same way that a bank account would. So you're able to give the account, it comes in an account number. You're able to share this account number to your customers, to people that are paying you. They can actually make payments transfers into their account, and you can actually also make payments. So apart from you being able to make payments, as in making payments to other people in other accounts, one of the things that you can also do with the Pivo Business is you can actually generate an invoice. So as a business person, one of the things that that delays payments is typically, the way it operates here in Nigeria, you write a paper invoice and then you take it to the company and then you move it from one table to the next table. So you're basically speaking to the one entry point, and then the person looks at it and moves to the next table. So you're following that. So that can actually add like maybe 7 days to your approval process. But one of the things that you can actually do with the Pivo Business account is that you can actually generate your invoice and send it directly to the person who's supposed to pay you. You can also generate a payment link. So rather than me having to look for, okay, where do I pay? Send me your account details, send me the bank account details. Once you have that payment link, you can basically just click on that, and so it makes it easier to receive payments. So the Pivo business is open to every business, regardless of what sector you're in. So you can, if you don't need a loan and you basically just want to run your business, you want to be able to see what your inflows, your transactions are. You want to be able to transact on the go because you have a mobile app, so you don't have to actually carry around a laptop or sit in your office. So you're actually someone who is permanently moving around. You are able to take your business account with you wherever you go. So I think that is open to everyone. Pivo Capital is now, okay, so you've been operating your Pivo business and you now want a loan to do something specifically, then you can now request for a Pivo Capital product. So that's what differentiates them, and that's how they work.
Thank you for that. Pivo Plus is the one that's upcoming, because I checked the website and I've seen the 3 products listed out. Pivo Plus is the one that's upcoming. Do you have, or do you know the expected launch date for this product? And do you know what this product entails for SMEs, supply chain SMEs?
Okay, Pivo Plus, one of the products that we're going to launch under Pivo Plus really is really our insurance product. Because one of the things also is when, even for your traditional banks, when you're as a customer, you go into a bank, they typically expect certain types of insurance. If you're moving products from one end to the other, they want goods in transit insurance, they want fidelity insurance. If you are selling something, you have a store, they want fire and burglary insurance. So one of the things we want to do with Pivo Plus is to also offer those insurance products through our platform. So not only can you access a loan, you can also access insurance products to support your business. So Pivo Plus really is primarily what we're doing. The first phase of it is really the insurance product. That should be rolled out, I think Q4, either Q4 this year or Q1 of next year. We actually had plans to roll it out by Q3, but we've had to slow down a little bit because I don't know whether it's all the elections in Nigeria, so many, the market realities are changing. So we've slowed down a lot. We've slowed down on some of the plans that we had in terms of expansion, in terms of rolling out some of these products. But we're looking at Q4, latest Q1 next year.
And you talked about insurance. Would this include health insurance as well? Because I spoke with another fintech company based out in Southern Africa, and they specialize also in the health insurance aspects of things. Would this be going down that route too as well?
Maybe not immediately. I think our focus really is to provide insurance that is required really by our customer base. The other type of insurance I think that might come into play after the GITs and the business insurance might be life insurance. Because one of the things that we find out is, but one of the things that we see is a lot of these SMEs are maybe one-man businesses. So there's, sometimes for continuity's sake, sometimes the person falls ill, then the business, automatically has a challenge. So one of the things that we could offer would be probably life insurance. But health insurance, if at all we're going to do that, that will be probably further down the line. So that's not something that we would start with immediately. Okay.
Thank you for that analysis. Pivo Africa recently expanded into the East African region following their 2 million seed, 2 million raised, and they've expanded into the Eastern African region. So what countries in East Africa are you present in, and do you know if there are plans of expanding into other regions in Africa, like Southern Africa or Northern Africa, or even Central Africa?
Okay, so I need to add a point of correction there. The plan was to expand into East Africa by Q1 of this year. but we've actually put that on hold. So we've engaged with the law firm there. We actually started the process, but we decided to step back on that and expand, first of all, within Nigeria, because we realized that there's still so much to learn, with all these changes that are going on in the market, with all, the policies in Nigeria recently, with the cashless policy. There has been, it has brought up certain things, I would say, that we need to look at. So one of the things we said was that, okay, rather than rushing into another market, let's expand within Nigeria first. Let's, take some key learnings from there and prepare ourselves better to move into other regions. So Kenya has we actually plan to start in Kenya, and that is actually going to be that's now shifted to Q1 of 2024. So that's what we're doing now. So yeah, we plan to go to East Africa. I know Kenya for sure. I'm sure we'll look at other, countries that probably have similar regulations, or at least that are with friendly regulations. So I know Kenya, I know East Africa for sure. Probably once we have done that and we are comfortable there, then we might think about moving into other West African countries like Ghana and, so I know that's the plan: East Africa, then West Africa. Central and other parts of Africa, I'm not certain when those would come into play.
Okay. So what's the general outlook of Pivo Capital and probably maybe, also the whole Pivo Africa brand in general? What is the goal and what are the expectancies to be reached within maybe a 5-year period, because you're a relatively new company? So what are the plans to be reached? I know, of course, expansion is one of them on the horizon, but what are the other plans in sight?
Well, I think, like you said, we're relatively new. So I think first and foremost is to what's the word I want to use now? Is to solidify, our presence. So and to grow really. So we have very ambitious growth aspirations, because we also want to prepare ourselves to move into the Series A funding round. And we're looking at doing that maximum in the next, we're giving ourselves a stretch target of doing that in the next maybe 12 months, but probably more like in the next 24 months. It's looking more like it. So to prepare ourselves for that, of course, we've set ourselves targets in terms of revenue, in terms of portfolio size, in terms of portfolio quality. So one of the things that we're looking at is to, from a Pivo Capital point of view, to grow, on a quarterly basis, to grow what we're doing, to grow our portfolio by at least 20% every quarter. So that's the target that we've set for ourselves, and also in terms of the number of customers that our customer acquisition. So these are the things that we're looking to do. Also in terms of partnerships, because right now we want to be able to partner with established multinationals, so that they're able to say that, okay, this is, in terms of funding for our vendors, this is a partner that we know and that we can trust. So that's what we're really working on, just to build it out, I guess I would say, to build it out, stronger and have a firmer to be stable, to grow and to be stable, so that we have a sustainable business model.
Growth is the theme. What you mentioned, the multinational companies that you intend to partner with, any company that's been marked out at the moment for expected partnership, or is that just something that's still discussed internally?
Well, it's been discussed. We don't have any partnerships yet, as any formalized partnerships, but we've identified the companies that we want to partner with. We are reaching out to them. I think it's also to build trust, because for them it's like, okay, we don't want to partner with a fad kind of business, here today, gone tomorrow. we want to see the impact that you're having. So one of the things that we're doing also is going bottom up. So if we're able to serve these vendors and they're able to see that, okay, even with not going through me, going directly to the vendors, I can see that there is growth in, my vendors are able to do more. So who is actually, who is supporting you, who is backing you, and then also use that to as an inroad, I guess, into these organizations. So that's really what we're doing right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, making life easier for the SMEs. The fintech space in Africa and specifically in Nigeria is growing, and Pivo Capital of Pivo Africa, or the whole Pivo Africa brand, is expected to be in the conversation and leading the charge in that growth. My name is Paul Olele again, your host, and this is Omolara Aribisala of Pivo Africa. Thank you so much for spending some time and giving us some insight on the company. And we hope to see you on the next one for FIVA. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.